Hello, MB880 Homeowners, and welcome to the third video of our series, Conversational Starters. I hope you're having a great day, but let's go ahead and start the conversation today. We have a cash flow problem, and yes, we do have a cash flow problem. So let's start that conversation. Again, this is an open framework. I want everyone to share your ideas, your thoughts, the information that you have. Let's share with each other. Let's share with our board. Let's start participating more to strengthen our community. This framework has 3 points again, and those 3 points are: we have a growing cash flow deficit, we've budgeted the problem for 2026, and how we've dealt with the problem in the past. This is not a new problem. We've had this problem since 22, and you can see where it's been increasing to the point where now in 2025, just through September, we have negative operating cash flow of $210,000. It's not fair to show a graph like that without showing that there are underlying numbers. I'm not going to go into these numbers in detail. I'm just going to tell you that this is operating cash only. All the information has been taken from financial reports prepared by KB Management and our approved budgets, and they've been normalized somewhat for comparative purposes. And when I say normalize, that means take out one-time events. So just real quickly, these are the annual budgeted HOA fees. These are disbursements made for operating expenditures, cash disbursements. Of course, our transfers to our reserve funds, and then the normalization or the taking out of the one-time events. And that brings us down to these numbers. I'm always happy to talk with anyone regarding the numbers or in a group setting to go over these, but I just wanted to show you this today. Now, moving forward to 26, we've budgeted negative cash flow. And any way you look at it, we've budgeted negative cash flow because we made a commitment in our budget meeting to pay back our remediation funds that were used to pay for our 2025 insurance premium. So we can look at this based on the current monthly spend, which is about $116,000. That's from 25. Or we can look at it as what we budgeted in 2026, which now we've budgeted monthly spend of about 129,000. And we always have to realize that we have a commitment to ourselves to pay our reserve funds. And then we made that commitment to ourselves to pay back the remediation fund. And after you think through those commitments and our operating expenditures on a monthly basis, we're looking at negative cash flow of either anywhere between 141,000 to 300,000. But we can also look at it this another way. Let's look at what our monthly commitments are. Our commitments are payroll, our utilities. We have contracts out there. We have our management contract. We have our master association, landscaping, pool, and the list goes on. These are commitments that we have every month. We have signed contracts, as well as our commitment to ourselves to pay our reserves and to pay back those remediation funds. And you can look at that and say, well, look, we're okay. Our monthly commitments will end up with cash. So what's really the problem? Well, then you start thinking about those one-time things during the year. This is quarterly. Our elevator maintenance is quarterly. So that's another $24,000 a year that we've committed. And our flood insurance, we have to have insurance, umbrella insurance, and then of course our property insurance. And that brings us down to negative cash flow of 154,000. These are our monthly commitments, but you know what's not in here? What's not in here is any repairs, inspections, supplies, and that list goes on, and definitely nothing that's unbudgeted. So we're looking at, and we have budgeted negative cash flow for 26, and not a little number. How have we dealt with this in the past? Well, in 22, we did flood insurance. We had a refund of $193,000 plus a developer payment and capital. In 23, we did a special assessment that our insurance premiums came in 23, $254,000 more than what we had budgeted, but we did a special assessment of $387,000. In 24, we had insurance premium financing. We actually took on debt in 24 to pay our insurance premiums, and we pushed $250,000 forward to 25, which we needed to pay off our 24 insurance premium. So we took on debt. And then in 25, our remediation funds. Now we're starting to take from our remediation fund and our reserves to pay for our negative operating cash flows. And it's been about $347,000 this year so far, and our reserve funds of about 34. But what are we going to do in 26? That's really the question moving forward. So I think it's time to start that conversation. What are we going to do in 26? That conversation needs to start now as opposed to next budget season or next year in September when our insurance premiums are due. Let's start to understand the true financial condition. Once we do that, then let's think about how we can tighten budget and cut costs. We can increase transparency and oversight. Now, these aren't all the ideas. Might not even be the greatest ideas, but this is just some ideas I want to throw out there to start the conversation. But I want everyone to talk about this. I want everyone to come together. I want everybody's strengths to be involved in addressing this problem. And then let's come up with a plan, let's communicate it, and then let's execute on it. In order to push this conversation forward, because I'm serious about this, is understanding the true financial condition. I'm going to send out later today in an email the treasurer's report, which we receive every month from Marina Bay, as well as a cash activity report that shows our operating cash and our reserve cash and our remediation cash. I'm going to send that out in an email. It's not good to have this go out public across the YouTube channel. So that's why it's coming to you in an email. So look for that. And then I think we need to have a conversation to start tightening our budgeting and cutting our costs. And one of the things that I want to start the conversation about, to have everyone start thinking about, is their property management. So I will be sending out a video next week regarding the property management. That's two things I want to do to start this conversation moving forward. But I want everyone to start the conversation. I want everyone to participate. I want all the ideas, all the thoughts. I want these to be shared with the board. I want us to live in a smart community. I want us to live in a strong community, a smart community, a community that's beautiful, that we're all proud of. And in so doing, I'm going to share my information as always. I'm always willing to have a conversation, and you can contact me, but really share your ideas with each other and share your ideas with the board. Thank you so much for your time. Hope everyone has a great day.